Hi and welcome, it's Peter Vaughan here, and now we're up to number 6 clip. So this is the last one in this short series that I'm putting together about where you're going in life. And on this particular section, we've come through 2020 almost to the very end now, and there is a transition between 2020 and 2021. It kind of goes a bit like this. So you start to move into the next year. You seem to step back a wee bit before you can move forward again. And this happens all the time in everyone's life, somewhere between November and February. It's kind of got this rollover effect. So here we are changing over. So where are you going next year? You know, do you want to change your life? Do you have a New Year resolution in mind? Well, that's important because one of these numbers here on the left resonate with the qualities of the events that you will find as the year comes ahead. When I say qualities, each one has a kind of a concept about it and a quality that you're going to move into and you have to blend with. If you don't blend with that, you're going to find you have challenges or you're rubbing it the wrong way. So I find out for people where they are as they walk across this gap here. And you go through 9-year cycles as I've got here. So we're going 1 to 9, 1 to 9, 1 to 9. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Wherever you are here is what you're going to experience based on the circumstances that are around you. When you know what the circumstances are, you can prepare mentally and physically for what lies ahead. Can we prove this? Absolutely. How do we prove that? Because we can look into the past and see what has happened in your past and then describe that to you without even knowing it. So if I don't know about your past and I tell you what's happened and when it happened, it's almost like, how did you do that? It's no different than if I was standing here in the present and this is the year I'm about to experience. I'm going to step into the future. So here I go. Now, by stepping into the future over here, that would be the past. And if it's the past, I know what has happened in the past because I remember it. So in the present now, last year, 2019, before it moved into 2020, was the past, and I remember that as well. But how can I remember the future? Well, you can remember the future if we bring the future into here. So here we are now in 2021, and there's 2022. Let's move over there for a moment, into 2022. We can look back and see what happened in 2021. Is this possible? Can we really do that? Yes, we can. Latrology up here is a discovery of how the brain was programmed right when you were born. And as a baby, you come out and mum knows you better than anybody else and she likes a name that fits the child. Dad or a family member or somebody else in an extended family or friends suggests a name that that'll be the name for it. That's what's all the rage. It's a great name. So you call the child Obama. I don't think so. But the name must fit the child. And if mum names it and she's happy, that's very, very good. But in many cultures around the world, when a baby is born, they'll take the child to an elder, a wise person who will say, what is the baby's birth data? Now that goes into astrology, and I don't follow astrology like as a study. I'd rather somebody else do it. But they'd go and they'd ask this person, what was the baby's birth date? And then they say, here are the letters in India that you should choose for a name to be formed from. So if somebody said P, and a wise person, it won't be Peter, but it could be Punit or something of that nature. And the letters they give it help the child get into life the right way. No clash with the birth date in a sense. So when mum feels good about a baby's name, the baby usually does well. So here we are. Here's you crossing over into next year to 221. What's it like? Well, by the time you get into 222, which would be here, you'd know what happened in 221. So by being able to predict the past, and I say predict it, if I don't know about your past and I predict it, I predicted it. So I could literally move into the future and look back in time and predict what happens next year for you. one of 9 situations you're going to enter into as you move into next year. If you're moving into a brand new cycle, like you've just come to the end of this one, bang, there we are, we've finished. And 220 goes into 221 for you. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So you'd be moving into the new beginning. That means you've left the last year behind, which was an old year, and you had to kind of like, as personal matters needed to be attended to. You've got to tidy up your affairs. It was probably likely personal, and for those of you who are in a 9 year, I teach this and I can tell people what it is, but just offhand, it's just knowing that you had a bad year last year. A new beginning year means, yay, I'm out of the old muck hole, I can now move forward and enjoy a new beginning. But what are you going to do? I don't know, it's going to be better than last year. Really? Because people back here in 2019 asked me what it was going to be like in 2020, and I said double death. What do you mean? So I literally, and I mean it, I said, well, with the work I do and the studies I've done, I'm going to call it death, death. And why death, death? Well, it's double. 1, 2, it's double death. The number 20 and the number 20 represent the word death in 2 languages that I know of. One is English, and the other one is where English came from, or a lot of languages came from, Egypt. Let's just have a look at this. Death and Ka. English, Egyptian. D is the 4th letter of the alphabet. This is where literology comes in. E is the 5th letter. Now, first, I could ask, where did the letters come from? Why are they shaped the way they are? Why are they positioned in the alphabet the way they are? This is something that most people have no idea about. I took an interest in it, and so therefore, 40 years later, I can talk about this stuff with an element of expertise because it's something that I had studied. A is the, come on, A first, very good. Now T is the 20th letter. Let's add 2 and 0 together and get 2. And H is the 8th. K is the 11th letter of the alphabet. 1 plus 1 is 2. See how 20 for T comes to 2 and 11 for K comes to 2. This is a way of shortcutting or doing summing up quickly, but it's more accurate when you look at it in the full text. H is 8 and A is 1. So, adding these up, 4 and 5 is 9, 10, 12 and 8 is 20, which is 2. And 2 and 8 is 10 and 1 is 11, which is 2. So, if I was to leave K at 11, like this, and add it up again, 11 and 8 is 19 and 1 is 20, so it would be like that, which reduces to 2. And the same if I did with T. Instead of it adding up to 20, it would add up to 38. 1 and 5 is 9, 10, 20, 30, 8 is 38. 3 and 8 is 11, 1 and 1 is 2. So in both languages, this number represented death to that particular nation or that culture at that time. So here's a number 2 year. And look what I've got here. A 2 year is about saving, being careful. 11. Because 11 reduces to 2. It's not the number that's bad, it's what the number presents to you and how you handle it. If a blacksmith banging a piece of steel in a hot fire puts it on the table, you don't touch it with bare hands, it will burn you. So you put on a glove, protecting yourself, and you can pick it up. Or depending on how hot it is at the time, of course. But the idea being that once you know about something, you can do something about it so it doesn't hurt you. In 11, relating to death, and over here, double death, 2020, and I've got a skull and crossbones, so we locked the world down. We came up with a pandemic. We had this thing called COVID 2019. Which, by the way, happens to add up to 20. I'll just put this in here and take it out again. COVID. Oops, 2019. They shortened it to 19. It's not 19, it's 2019 when the thing was thrown at the world. Third letter, 15th letter, 1 plus 5 is 6. 22nd letter, 2 plus 2 is 4. 9th letter, 4th letter. Leave the 2, the 0, the 1 and 9 as they are and add them up. 3 and 6 is 9. 9 and 4 is 13, and 9 is 22, and 4 is 26. So 26, 2 plus 6 equals 8. 2 and 1 is 3, and 9 is 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 8 for COVID, 3 for 219 equals 11, or 2. Is this a coincidence? No, it's not. This works all the time in a whole fractionated way, all come together and it still results. So what are you stepping into in your personal life? You might be going into 221 and by adding up that 2 and that 1, you'll get the number 5. But it's not your personal journey we're talking about here. We're talking about the global thing. You're going to be one of these. And depending on what that number is determining how your year will be. And if you know what it is, you can plan for it and therefore have a more successful life. So what I've done, just taking this off, whoops, just try not to rub off any blue wording. Right. I provide for people because you don't have to learn this stuff. You can literally purchase it. I provide an annual and a monthly projection and a profile report to find out who you are. This is based on your name, like when I mentioned about a mother calling a baby a name. Who are you? Find out who you are and then find out where you're going. And so doing, we know that next year you're going to have an overall event somewhere between 1 and 9. One of these columns here is going to relate to you. Then we've got the months in the year. So although this is a whole year, January through to December, each month is broken up to, and I've got an example here of June. I put reports up in each month that says how you feel in any month. How are you feeling personally? Then down here, what circumstances you're facing. That's the terrain you're standing on. One of the 9 types of terrain there are. And really between you and your environment, bring those two together, what you can do for best results. If you know what you're doing and plan it, it's no different than a great football team, or in New Zealand it might be the All Blacks that people think of, because they're so unified, work together, they all know how to work as a team for effect. This is working for a team for effect. And then you might say also, if I get a team going together, where else can I see this in nature? Well, you can see it in the military, that's not nature, but they're also working as a team for effect. Then look at nature and find that everything grows in pockets the right way and kind of balances itself out. Man stuffs it up, but nature's not bad at getting it organized again. If you remove man out the way, even Chernobyl, where they had that big nuclear meltdown, regrew, and it's like a forest there now, all alive, full of all sorts of animals. Not a desert. Nature cleans it up. Man had better watch his step. So, when I say you were given the right name at birth, I analyse your name, and I want you to change your life so you can improve it, because you can. You don't have to go to wealth creator seminars or all sorts of things that say we're going to boost your life and change to be like me. You are only like you. You cannot alter who you are. So find out who you are, what you are best designed for, and move in that direction. And you're going to find you feel comfortable, happy, you get better results, better people come into your life, and you just feel great. Life is great. The unfortunate part for most of the world at the moment is that governments run the world. We elect them and they're bullies. People who go into this arena literally belong to the group of bullies, and the bullies control everybody else the way that they want them. So if you'd like to know where you're going in life, get one of these. You can and you could make a difference to your life. These, I normally sell these things at the moment, have been for a while, for $70. Now that's quite a lot of money for some, it's not much for others. But I think it's because we've come through a lot of crap. I'd like to put an offer up there, say for the rest of December, I'm going to offer these at $45. I'm going to take that through to the end of January. So if you'd like to have one of these, you might want to get yourself a Christmas present for it. This is not selling it. It's talking about what you can do for you so you know what you're doing as you enter this year. People are going to die. People are going to succeed. People are going to be subject to vaccinations. I won't have a jar of it, or a bar of it, is what they say. I don't like what I have studied is inside these things. There's human stuff inside these things. In fact, I don't want to go into it. It's a different story altogether. I'm here to tell you what I think you should do for you for best effect. People aren't dying as they are telling you of this particular pandemic. If you want to find that out, go to the alternate media and study what they're saying. Not the idiots, real doctors, real professors, people on the other side that governments, the bullies, are suppressing. They're squashing down, they're burning the books, making people not get this information on the web. Because if this terrible, terrible, terrible disease is going to swamp the world with death and disaster, how many people are actually dying from it? You're not hearing the right information. Because if this terrible, they've taken away the medications, they've taken away all the things that you would have to get rid of your flus and bugs and colds, and said go home and rest up. Funny enough, you get better. You're not dying. People who are sick, aged, have worn out bodies, real considerations of other problems that are in there, that's what they die of. What you're being told is a nonsense, and so many people are saying that. But please don't turn away from where you're at. This is your life. Where are you going? That's where I come into it. Heavy subject, but it's not really. It's number 6. So we'll call that one quits here, and we'll get these things up on the web as soon as we can. Thank you for watching. Peter Vaughan with Latrology signing out. If you want to get hold of me, www.petervaughan.net, and you can make these orders up online. Thanks for watching the series, and we'll come back and do some more because I love teaching this stuff, and thank you again.